Here I am recording a video log, continuing from the previous video log, about form and desire. Interesting how we create a relationship to form, such as desire, as form is simply specific structural mechanics that has been specifically aligned to present a particular specific design. And so within that, I see, realize, and understand that when and as something is formed specifically within and as its structure and integrity, that in order to have that particular form, there has to be a code or a program to keep the integrity of that form intact. And so therefore, what it is that I'm in fact desiring is a program, is a particular specific code. And so therefore, and that form in fact outflows into a projection of that which I believe is the actual thing, when in fact the actual thing is in fact the programming or the code that created that particular specific form. So what I am in fact desiring is not even real, although it is real because it's physical. Interesting. So in this blog, I'd like to do self-forgiveness for accepting and allowing myself to create and participate in and as desire. As what I have accepted and allowed myself to diminish myself within as a point of limitation. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to participate in the design of and as the fear of survival. First, I want to talk about the fear of survival. What is in fact the fear of survival? What is in fact survival? So the ones that are listening to this video will have a perspective of the self-forgiveness that I am in fact voicing. The fear of survival. Basically, survival is that which I hold on to within and as my mind and not want to let go. So therefore, that which I hold on to, which is can be termed as a relationship, is in fact a survival mechanism, because I've created this relationship to a particular specific structure that exists within my world and reality. And so because of my desire, or because of my relationship to that particular specific structure, it is in fact a survival because I hold on to it and not wanting to let go of it. Therefore, the survival is in fact a manifestation of fear because I don't want to let go of it. Therefore, I fear losing that survival mechanism. In other words, I fear losing that fear of losing who I have become within this world and reality. Interesting that fear of survival is in fact the fear of losing the fear of losing the definition of and as the mind that I have accepted and allowed myself to be and become. So therefore it is a fear within a fear, the fear of survival. And so therefore I start myself forgiveness off with, I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to participate in the design of and as the fear of survival as form, as energy, as desire. Form from the perspective of fear of survival as form, meaning I created a relationship to form. Fear of the design of and as the fear of survival as energy, meaning I participate within it as desire. And also energy as form, which energy also has form and structure as the particular specific relationship that I created within and as myself. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to participate in and as the design of the fear of survival as form, as energy, as desire, fearing that, okay, if I don't know what the fear is directly, I can look at the desire. What did I desire? I desire form. And so the fear is the fearing to lose that ability to desire, fearing to not desire, fearing to lose me from desire. And so therefore I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to doubt whether I'm the one that desires or whether I'm the one that does not desire. Wherein I blame the physical reality, the physical existence. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to blame the physical reality, the physical existence for creating form, as I took that form and created a relationship to form, as a structure within my mind, as particular specific thoughts, imaginations, back chats, and reactions of that formed into and as reactions of emotions and feelings, which I move within and as, which I structure the who I am within and as a personality within this world of reality. And so within this, I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to make the excuse that I have to survive as this personality, as who I am in relation to desire, that I have to survive within that, fearing to lose my ability to feel, my ability to have emotions, my ability to feel, my ability to feel within and as desire. And so within that feeling creates relationships where I can solidify my identification, my personality, my behavioral attributes, my reactions, where I can solidify that relationship within me. And thus within and as that solidification of that relationship within me, I can formulate the who I am in relation to myself and others within this world in reality. Therefore justifying my desire, justifying my position within and as the mind, as a slave to desire, a slave to my relationships to form, a slave to the mind, as thoughts, imaginations, back chats, and reactions of emotions and feelings that I have formulated as the who I am. And so my commitment is, I commit myself. After self-forgiveness, there is in fact a commitment that I have to commit myself to in order to solidify my redefined relationship to the desire. The redefining from the perspective of the redefining of the relationship through declaring, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to release myself from this particular specific point. And so that redefining as that declaration, I thus live that declaration within physicality, proving to myself that I am in fact moving myself from an energy-based relationship, energy as emotions and feelings, reactions, imaginations, backchats, thoughts, moving myself from energy relationship into physical directiveness, a physical stand. And so therefore I commit myself to winning as I see myself winning as there's an experience that's coming up within myself. When there is an experience that comes up within myself. No, you know what? No. Because if I say that, that means I am accepting experience as who I am. But experience is simply an outflow of relationships. And so therefore I commit myself to assist and support myself to stop desiring, stop creating relationships to form pictures. And how am I going to do that specifically is the question. I commit myself to debunk my relationship to pictures to form, debunk my relationship to form from the perspective of having a look at the particular specific relationship. For instance, if I see a person, for example, and that person has a particular specific skin color that appeases myself, I have a look at that relationship. For instance, I might connect that particular specific color, which is just the, if we look at it scientifically, is the amount of melanin that particular specific person has within them. And so that's it's a point of having to look at my relationship to that particular specific coloration of and as the amount of melanin within an atom. And so I have a look at the relationship, and I look at the memories, and I find out what is it that in fact triggered that point within me that I created that outflowed into a consequence of desire. And so basically it is the relationships that are the key to it is in fact committing myself to dissect the relationships, to see, realize, and understand what those relationships, how those relationships are in fact driving me, how those relationships are directing me within my world and reality. And so it is to take those relationships, dissect those relationships, and actually within each thought, within each each thought, each imagination is a part of myself that I am, in fact, that I have taken away from myself and formed into a thought. Therefore, uh, I that expression I formed into a systematic movement, and so therefore, I can thus see where and how I abdicated my expression into a particular specific thought, imagination, and I thus from that I dissect that thought, imagination, that relationship, and I thus from that dissecting I have a look at where where and how I have where I have abdicated my self-expression, my self-trust from myself into a relationship, as a thought, as an imagination, as a desire. And so within that dissecting, I thus self-forgive, and I actually bring that expression back into me in equality and oneness, meaning that I take that that expression that has amalgamated, or that has formed into a thought, an imagination, a backchat, which is an internal conversation. I take that and I give it back to myself, basically. For example, if I have a thought of brown skin, for instance, I connected it to, let's say, nature, because nature, you see the color brown everywhere. And so within nature, what do I connect to nature? What are the words that I connect to nature? Nature is that word that I have to redefine, basically, through looking at the positive and the negative connections of nature. One connection of nature that I connect to nature is the word life, as a positive experience. And so within that, I form and create thoughts, imaginations, and internal conversations within myself, and project life into that, and into that skin color. And so I live my life based on desire, and I connect desire as life, because I connect life to nature and connect nature to that particular specific skin color, because I connected that skin color to the brown that I see within nature. And so therefore I give life to that desire, instead of giving life back to myself through having to look at the connections of words within and as myself, in this case the word nature. And so redefining the word nature into a word that I can thus live as an expression within myself, as myself. So yes, I will leave it as that, and I will continue in the next video log. Thank you.